Can't Wait for Christmas is a proud member of the Christmas Podcast Network.
Hey buddy, what you doing?
Is it Christmas yet?
No, sorry, not yet.
I can't wait for Christmas.
Yeah, I can't wait for Christmas either. In fact, let's celebrate now.
Welcome to the Can't Wait for Christmas podcast.
It's August 25th, 2025, and that means there's only 4 months left until Christmas. Today on the show, we're going to take a look back at the 1970 Rankin Bass classic, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. We'll also add a little of that chilly Christmassy magic to your drink, learn a little bit about a special kind of art, and we'll count down the top 5 Christmas versions of non-Christmas songs. Okay, let's start the show! Greetings, Yule Believers, and welcome to the Can't Wait for Christmas podcast, the podcast all about Christmas history, Christmas traditions, Christmas media, and everything else Christmas. I'm your host for over a decade now, Tim Babb. Yes, this year is the 10th anniversary of the Can't Wait for Christmas podcast. We'll be celebrating for the rest of the year. Later this year, we'll be releasing the sequel to our made-for-podcast Christmas movie, A Bum for Christmas. Also, we're going to be spending the rest of the year looking at other Christmas stuff that's having anniversaries this year. But more on that later. Let's kick things off with our first segment, We Need a Little Christmas Now.
We need a little Christmas now.
So, despite the fact that both my kids are back in school...
Boo!
Yeah, sorry. But despite this, it's still very much summer out there. And despite the fact that places like Costco and Michael's have some Christmas items available now, there's not a lot of Christmas to be had out there. And as always, I'm looking for ways to add a little Christmas into my life. And one of the ways I'd like to do that is with what I drink. And we've been having some pretty hot days. Too hot for hot cocoa or apple cider. The vibe is right, though, for something ice cold. As it happens, I was putting away some of my discounted Christmas finds that I picked up back in early spring, and one of them was a silicone treat mold with shapes like Santa's head, a snowman, a stocking, and stuff like that. You normally use these type of molds to make treats or candies or maybe even cookies, but I figured out if I fill the tray with water and pop it into the freezer, I get Christmas-shaped ice cubes. Wait. Let me correct that. You see, the silicone tray is pretty flimsy, so if you put the water in and then try and move it to the fridge, you won't get Christmas ice cubes, you'll get wet socks and a lot of water to clean up. I'll let you figure out if I had to learn that the hard way.
He did.
Thanks, guys. So, I recommend putting the silicone tray in the freezer and then filling it with water once it's in there. Then, you wait a while and pop the new Christmas cubes out and put them in your favorite soda, tea, lemonade, or even just a cool glass of water. If you're a visual learner, I made an instruction video and I'll post it to TikTok, YouTube, and our other socials. You can find links to those videos in the show notes of this episode at can'twaitforchristmaspod.com. And now it's time for our countdown feature, 5 Golden Things.
5 golden things.
So my initial idea for this segment was going to be versions of TV theme songs that change when they do a Christmas episode. As a random example, the British quiz show QI changes their intro when it's Christmas, and it seamlessly weaves Jingle Bells into the normal QI theme. So I was looking for more things like that. But when I started doing the research, Google had other plans. It started showing me regular songs that were changed to be about Christmas. Now, some of these I knew, but a lot of them I absolutely had never heard of before. I fell down this rabbit hole, and now I'm going to take you down there with me as we talk about the top 5 Christmas versions of non-Christmas songs. Starting with...
Number 5.
Mr. Santa, Amy Grant.
Mr. Santa, bring me some toys. Bring Merry Christmas to all girls and boys. And every night I'll go to sleep singing and dream about the presents you'll be bringing, Santa.
In 1954, there was a song called Mr. Sandman. It was performed by several artists that year, but most notably the Chordettes, who took the song to number 1. A year later, Dorothy Collins released a version where the Sandman is replaced with good old Santa Claus. It wasn't a huge hit, But when Amy Grant was choosing songs for her 1999 album, A Christmas to Remember, she remembered it and recorded it for the album. This is a great fit to me because the Chordettes version already gives caroler vibes, but then you make the song actually about Christmas and it fits like a glove.
Number 4.
I Want You for Christmas, Cheap Trick.
I want you for Christmas. I need you for Christmas. I love you for Christmas. I'm begging you for Christmas.
This begins an unexpected trend on this list, artists making Christmas versions of their own songs. Cheap Trick put out a single in 1977 called I Want You to Want Me. It didn't actually do very well. In fact, it never even made the charts. A year later, they released a live recording of the song with a harder, more rock and roll arrangement, and it became a huge hit. It's basically their signature song. More than 3 decades later, in 2012, they contributed this Christmassy version of the song to the Christmas album A Very Special Christmas, 25 Years of Bringing Joy to the World, the 8th in a series of compilation Christmas albums that raise money for the Special Olympics. So even if you don't like this version of the song, which I do, you gotta love the reason it was created.
Number 3.
Taking Care of Christmas, Randy Bachman.
And we'll be taking care of Christmas every day. Taking care of Christmas every way. We'll be taking care of Christmas, doing it right. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Another Christmas version performed by the original artist. Sorta. See, Taking Care of Business was a huge hit for the band Bachman-Turner Overdrive. So imagine my surprise that I learned that Randy Bachman, the Bachman of Bachman-Turner Overdrive, was the one who made this. It was a bonus track on his album Randy Bachman Songbook, where he re-recorded songs he performed when he was previously with other bands. While this song doesn't feel overly Christmassy, there's something about taking a song that already slaps and making it about Christmas that really works for me. And this song really works for me. And speaking of songs with this dynamic, let's talk about
Number 2.
December, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Do you remember the 25th night of December? Love was changing the minds of pretenders while chasing the clouds away.
This is some funkalicious Christmas music right here. When Earth, Wind, and Fire made their 2014 Christmas album Holiday, they did a bunch of traditional Christmas songs, as well as 2 Christmasified versions of their songs. There was Happy Seasons, which is a revamped version of Happy Feelin', and of course this, which is a version of their smash hit September. Funny enough, I stumbled upon this one years ago through this show. Back in 2022, for our 100th episode, I did a top 5 list of songs that should be Love Actually'd, which is basically take an existing hit song and make it about Christmas. I wrote and performed Christmas parodies of several songs, and my number 1 was a Christmas version of September that I thought I had made up. But listener Weston commented, "Hey Tim, although I liked your additional changes, Earth, Wind, and Fire released an official version of December." So it turns out Earth, Wind, and Fire had already Love Actually'd their own song.
Honorable mentions.
Home, Blake Shelton featuring Michael Bublé.
Another Christmas day will come and go away, and I won't leave you alone. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna be home.
Yet another Christmas version by the original artist. Yes, it's technically a Blake Shelton song, and Bublé's only featured on it, but it still counts. It's hilarious to me that Blake wanted to do a Christmas song with Bublé, but then picked his 2005 song Home, one of the songs that isn't about Christmas. Like, I don't know if you know this, Blake, Bublé has a pretty big collection of Christmas hits. You could have gone with one of those. Moving away from artists who change their own songs, I also want to shout out I Am Santa Claus by Babb Rivers.
Flying through the snow, can you hear him? Ho, ho, ho. He's so full of cheer, only has to work 1 day a year.
We're in straight parody territory here. This is a parody of Black Sabbath's 1970 hit Iron Man, which had nothing to do with the Marvel character, by the way. Babb Rivers decided to make this parody the title track of his 1993 album of goofy Christmas songs. Babb Rivers is all about novelty songs and parodies and Christmas. I remember a few of his from when I was a kid, like Restroom Doors to Gentlemen and Walking Around in Women's Underwear, which was from this album, but I'd never heard this song before until I was making this list. It loses points for messing with the classic guitar riff of Iron Man. I get that switching it up with the melody for Jingle Bells makes the song more Christmassy, but you don't mess with that Iron Man riff, Bob. Finally, I have to give a shout out to the king of parodies, Mr. Weird Al Yankovic and The Night Santa Went Crazy.
The night Santa went crazy. The night Saint Nick went insane. Realized he'd been getting the raw deal. Something finally must have snapped in his brain.
Now, this is on the honorable mentions list because it's not technically a straight parody. It has a lot of similarities to the Soul Asylum song Black Gold, but it's not Al's typical parody. Yet, I had to include Mr. Yankovic on this list because you can't have a list of parodies and leave out Weird Al. You just can't. But if you want to hear me talk more about Weird Al, check out the Totally Rad Christmas podcast in a few months. I'll be on with Mike Westfall from the Advent Calendar House podcast talking about Al's song Christmas at Ground Zero. So, keep your ears peeled for that. And meanwhile, it's time for...
Number 1.
Christmas is All Around, Billy Mack.
I feel it in my fingers. I feel it in my toes. Christmas is all around me, and so the feeling grows. It's written in the wind. It's everywhere I go.
Yes, this is the song I was talking about earlier and back on our 100th episode when I was talking about Love Actually-ing a song. This was from the movie Love Actually, and there's a character in the movie, Billy Mack, played by Bill Nye, who records this Christmas version of Love Is All Around. It's meant to be a commentary on cynical Christmas cash grabs, but I genuinely love it. The bells, the earnest-sounding background singers, and that sweet sitar. I honestly haven't revisited the movie Love Actually since I did the episode on it a few years back, but I've played this song at least once a month since then. If I'm honest, way more than that. And that's my list. Was there any favorites of yours I didn't get to? Or do you have any picks for the original concept of this list, Christmasified TV themes? Either way, let me know at can'twaitforchristmaspod@gmail.com. And now, let's do a quick dip into Santa Babb's mailbag.
Santa Babb, he is gonna read some emails from you, or comments, or Facebook messages too. Santa Babb, he is opening up his mailbag tonight.
So in our June episode, I read a comment from YouTuber Mrs. CB5303 about how this podcast is so funny that it makes it difficult to diamond paint while listening. I mentioned that I didn't know what diamond painting is, and 5303 left a new comment on our A Bomb for Christmas reunion episode to clarify. Hello, Tim. This episode was so fun. I'm thrilled the sequel is on the way. Thank you to you and all who participated in this reunion. I wrote you previously, and you mentioned my comment on a previous episode. I was in the car with my hubby, and I kind of startled him when I squealed with delight when you mentioned me. Well, since it seems no one answered you about diamond painting, think about paint by numbers. Now take away the paint and substitute little plastic resin diamonds, dots or squares. Generally, you buy a kit, and that includes a pre-glued sticky canvas and the drills, aka diamonds, and a few other needed tools. You place each dot onto the sticky canvas individually or with a special tool, several at once. As the canvas is labeled, you just match the symbol on the bags to the symbol on the canvas. Most people see this hobby and say, OMG, I could never do that. I don't have the patience. Funny enough, I certainly felt that way too. But then one day of super boredom and pain, chronic illness, I did a little retail therapy and tried it. It was super easy to learn, especially with YouTube help. Turns out a lot of people with ADHD love this hobby and it helps quiet your brain. I find doing the painting while listening to podcasts or audiobooks distracts me from my pain like nothing else. I also like that different from when playing a game on my iPad. When I finish a painting, I have a tangible item that I can enjoy looking at or giving to someone. I'm about to start working on some Christmas card diamond paintings after I finish my current project. You can also make Christmas ornaments. Well, thank you, Mrs. CB5303, for solving that mystery. Now that you describe it, I think someone actually bought us a couple diamond painting kits for the kids a couple years ago. I think we tried and failed to finish, but always meant to get back to them. And even now that I say that, finish is doing a lot of heavy lifting. I think we barely started. But I don't know if they even made the move from the old house to the new house, so, oops. Hey, this is Editor Tim. In between recording this episode and editing this episode, I found out that we still do have these old kits. One is a Frozen one, one's a Harry Potter one, and they are sitting in the garage covered with dust. so I don't know that we're getting back to them anytime soon. Okay, back to the show. Well, I'm glad you have the skills and patience to do it, and I'm sure the episode has been unfunny enough that you've had no trouble getting through them this time, so you're welcome. And now a word about one of the other podcasts in the Christmas Podcast Network. Normally I would run a commercial here, but I wanted to talk about a podcast that I don't know that I have a trailer for. It's called 'Tis the Soundtrack, and I've actually been a guest on the show before. Kevin, the guy who does it, goes deep into the weeds about your favorite Christmas music, and like me, he is also a big Disney fan. So one of the things he's been doing is doing deep dives into Disney Christmas music loops. He recently did one for Frontierland, which is my favorite music loop for Christmas time at Disneyland. And as of this recording, his most recent episode is a deep dive into the history of the Christmas album. So you should definitely check that out. I'll put a link in the show notes. I'll put a little clip of it right here for you to get a soupçon, a taste of what his show is like.
It's actually pretty incredible if you think about it. Somehow, when you take a bunch of holiday banjo tracks recorded in the 1990s, and pipe them through a 1950s Hollywood recreation of a mid-1800s frontier town, it evokes a sense of nostalgia, or not quite nostalgia, but whatever that sensation is that feels similar to nostalgia, but only for a place you've never visited and in a time you've never lived. Logically, we know none of these recordings belong in a mid-19th century frontier town, but emotionally, hearing the music as you pass by the shops, all dressed up in their holiday decor, it tugs at all the right strings.
Welcome back. So, as I have mentioned many times, this year is the 10th anniversary of the Can't Wait for Christmas podcast. But we're not the only ones celebrating anniversaries this year. A lot of Christmas classics have anniversaries this year. So I thought I'd take a look at one of them today, because 2025 marks the 55th anniversary of the Rankin Bass special, Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
You better watch out. Better not cry. Better not pout.
Why?
I'm telling you why.
Yeah.
'Cause I came to town, and look what I brought.
Toys.
This is another special from the team of Arthur Rankin Jr. and Jules Bass. They had previously found holiday success with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer in 1964, The Little Drummer Boy in 1968, and Frosty the Snowman in 1969. This special is based on the 1934 Christmas song of the same name written by J. Fred Coots and Haven Gillespie. And when I say the special is based on that song, I am lying to your face. Unlike Rudolph and Frosty, which told the stories of their respective songs, albeit with some extra content added, this special does not tell the story that happens in the song. And in fairness, there's not much story in the song at all. There's no reindeer calling anyone names, there's no traffic cop chasing anyone down. The song is just basically, Santa's coming, look busy! So instead, they go full MCU and use this special to tell Santa's origin story. Now, longtime listeners may remember that for our 1-year anniversary episode, we actually took a look at the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer special, and I was able to find exclusive and totally not made-up audio of the write-in session where they created Rudolph. Well, as luck would have it, I was also able to find exclusive and totally not made-up audio of the writing session for Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Let's take a listen.
So you have a new Christmas special idea for me?
Yes, sir, I do. We're going to adapt the song Santa Claus is Coming to Town as an origin story for Santa.
Amazing.
We're going to start off the story with a mailman.
Oh, kids flippin' love mailmen.
They sure do, sir, and this mailman opens up a bunch of kids' letters to Santa.
Wait, what?
Yeah, just fully reads the letters that the kids wrote to Santa.
Why would he do that?
Well, you see, sir, the letters are all asking about why Santa does certain things. Why does he wear a red suit? Why do people call him Kris Kringle? How do his reindeer fly? And we're going to answer all those questions by the end of this special.
A bunch of kids wrote to Santa instead of asking for toys. They just want detailed background information on Santa?
That's what we're going with. So the story starts with a woman leaving a baby with the name tag Claus on a doorstep.
Is that Santa's mom?
You know it is.
So who is she?
I don't know.
Why is she leaving Santa on a doorstep?
I don't know.
If this special is supposed to be Santa's origin story, shouldn't we learn who his mother is?
Listen, sir, I just need to get this story going, so I'm going to need you to get all the way off my back about Santa's mom.
Okay, let me get off of that thing.
Thanks. So it turns out baby Claus is left on the doorstep of Burgermeister Meisterburger, the ruler of Sombertown.
One imagines all those words meant something.
Unfortunately, it turns out Burgermeister hates babies.
Oh no!
So he tells his assistant to take the baby to an orphanage, but on the way, a huge gust of wind picks up the sleigh and carries it into the mountains, where some woodland animals hide it from a crazy mountain wizard with sticks before dropping it off with a family of elves.
What?
These elves all wear red suits, and they're called the Kringles.
Hey, I recognize that name.
Yeah.
All the elves should have first names that rhyme with Kringle.
Should they, though?
Dingle Kringle, Tingle Kringle, Zingle Kringle, Wingle Kringle, and Bingle Kringle.
Pretty sure those aren't real names.
Then the elf matriarch should be named Tanta Kringle.
That's not a name either, and it doesn't rhyme with Kringle.
They adopt the baby and call him Kris Kringle.
Did you forget that he already has a name tag that says Claus?
Oh, whoops.
Whoopsie.
So what's the story with these Kringles?
They make toys. In fact, back in the day, they were the first toy makers to the king. But the Winter Warlock won't let them travel to the other side of the mountain where Sombertown is, so they just throw the toys they make into a pile outside.
Why don't they just stop making toys?
Hey, shut up. So Chris promises to deliver the toys when he's grown up. In the meantime, he learns to laugh by listening to seals.
You're saying he got his distinctive ho-ho-ho laugh because he heard a seal barking and decided that's what a laugh should sound like?
That's what we're going with. And then one day, Chris becomes a man.
How can we tell?
Because both he and the narrator say it out loud.
Finally, Chris was a fine young man.
I'm a man now, Tanta.
Smart. Be sure to spell it out for anyone who wasn't sure.
So he takes a sack full of toys in his new red suit and he heads off past the mountain to deliver them.
He needs a penguin buddy.
A what?
A cute little penguin that makes noises like Harpo Marx, and he's his buddy.
But penguins live in the southern hemisphere, not up north.
I don't care.
And Santa doesn't have a pet penguin in any of the other stories.
I don't care.
And won't it slow things down a lot to add a random character that has nothing to do with the plot?
Listen, I want a penguin in there or this whole thing is canceled.
All right already, geez, I'll give him a random honking penguin.
Yay, I love penguins.
Yeah, you can tell. So anyway, Chris and his new penguin friend try to cross the mountain and they run into the Winter Warlock.
Oh no!
Who decides to let them pass but get him on the way back.
Good thing he had his lucky penguin with him.
Is that a thing?
It could be.
So now Chris is headed to the town to give out the toys, but just before he gets there, Burgermeister Meisterburger trips on a toy duck and breaks his funny bone, so he bans all toys in Samba Town.
Oh, some very unfortunate timing.
But Chris starts giving out toys anyway, and the kids are playing with them until Burgermeister catches them and orders all the children to be arrested. But Chris sees this and claims responsibility for the toys that the kids have.
So he volunteers to get arrested to spare the kids?
Nope. As soon as Burgermeister starts to make a move to arrest him, he runs off.
Huh.
But to get home, he has to go back across the mountain and runs into the Winter Warlock, who is going to kill him. But Chris gives him a toy, and the Warlock is so touched that someone gave him a gift that he lets Chris go and becomes a good guy.
He didn't see the gift as an obvious bribe by Chris to avoid death?
Nope. In fact, he strikes up a pact that if Chris keeps giving him toys, the Warlock will help him with his magic.
Still seems like a bribe.
He uses the magic to make a snowball into a magic crystal ball that he can use to see anyone.
Kind of a creepy power to give someone.
And then he sees Jessica is looking for him.
Who's Jessica?
Jessica is the new school teacher in Samba Town. She was against Chris giving the kids toys, but then he won her over by giving her a doll.
This guy friggin' loves bribing people with toys.
But she's come with letters because the Burgermeister destroyed all the toys he brought, and the kids wrote Chris asking for new toys. And he promises to bring them toys as long as they are good. He tells Jessica he will use his new magic snowball powers to see the kids when they're sleeping and when they're awake, and he'll see them when they're bad or good, so they should be good for goodness sake.
That's from the song.
It sure is, sir.
Amazing.
So, in order to get the toys to the kids without Burgermeister finding out, he tells Jessica to tell the kids to keep the doors unlocked, and he'll sneak in after dark. But Burgermeister got wise to that, so he had all the town's doors locked. So Chris started coming down chimneys. But then Burgermeister started searching houses, so he started hiding gifts in the stockings hung to dry by the fire.
So, all of Santa's signature moves are explained by him trying to circumvent the law?
Pretty much. But then Burgermeister lays a trap for Chris.
Can't the Warlock help?
No, he can't, because he lost his magic powers.
Why?
I don't know.
Fair enough.
So Burgermeister throws Chris, the elves, and the Warlock in a dungeon.
It's gonna be pretty hard for them to all get out of a dungeon.
Actually, it's gonna be super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it turns out the Warlock still had some magic corn in his pocket that makes reindeer fly if they eat it, so Jessica gives it to the reindeer and they fly.
How does the reindeer being able to fly get them out of a locked prison?
Because.
That works.
So they all decide to move to the North Pole where the Burgermeister won't find them. Jessica and Chris get married and she takes the name Mrs. Claus.
She takes the name Mrs. Claus.
Yeah.
But hasn't Chris been going by Kris Kringle the entire time she's known him? Why would she take the name Claus?
Oh, well, since Kris Kringle was a wanted man, he changed his name to Santa Claus and grew a beard so he wouldn't be recognized.
Isn't he the only one wearing that bright red Santa suit? Seems like he'd be pretty easy to recognize.
Listen, sir, the movie's almost over and I gotta start wrapping this up.
Fair enough.
So they build a toy factory / castle at the North Pole. Santa flies in, bringing the toys, and after many years, the Burgermeisters fall out of power and die off. But the toy orders become too much to do multiple times a year, so Santa starts making the trip once a year, Christmas Eve. Oh, and the warlock gets his powers back.
Why?
I don't know.
Oh, randomly losing and getting your powers back is tight.
I don't think that's a slang word we use in 1970, but now that we've awkwardly explained most of Santa's mythos, we cut back to the mailman who sings Santa Claus is coming to town and the special is over. What do you think?
Well, sounds like it's a lot of fun, as long as we get the right voice for the mailman.
Who did you have in mind?
Someone who's really good at dancing.
But it's a voiceover. Why would it matter if the person's good at dancing?
Give me the world's most famous dancer!
Okay, I'll make some calls. Wow, that turned out to be a really long and detailed recording of the writing process. By the way, apropos of nothing in particular, you should really check out this YouTuber named Ryan George. He does a funny series called Pitch Meeting that's just really funny. I don't know why I thought of that just now, but anyway, back to the special.
What will we call him, Santa Kringle?
His license says Claus. Unusual name. However, we shall call him Chris. Chris Kringle.
Yay!
Like Rudolph and Drummer Boy, Santa Claus is Coming to Town was a stop-motion special. This process is sometimes inaccurately referred to as claymation, but the process Rankin Bass used was animagic. The difference being instead of globs of clay, they used puppets that they would manipulate one frame at a time. The animation took place in Japan. They actually used multiple Japanese studios to make this special, perhaps the most notable of these being Topcraft, which is known these days as Studio Ghibli, known for such critically acclaimed animated films as Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away, and Howl's Moving Castle. Then there's the voice cast. Jessica is voiced by Robbie Lester, who Disney fans like myself know from being the singing voice for Duchess in Disney's Aristocats.
My own town turned against me. Well, my eyes are beginning to open for the very first time to what life is really all about.
The Winter Warlock was voiced by prolific character actor Keenan Wynn, who aside from having tons of roles over the course of 4 decades, is also the son of Ed Wynn.
But you mustn't mind the tree monsters. Their bark is worse than their bite. Their bark is worse than their bite.
Kris Kringle was voiced by Hollywood legend Mickey Rooney, who went on to reprise the role of Santa several times in 1974's The Year Without a Santa Claus, 1979's Rudolph and Frosty Christmas in July, 2005's The Happy Elf, and 2008's A Miser Brother's Christmas.
It turned into quite a proposition. I can hardly keep up with the orders. I'm afraid I'm going to have to limit my journeys to one a year.
As alluded to in that exclusive recording, the mailman narrator was voiced by dancer extraordinaire Fred Astaire. I know he was also an accomplished singer and actor, but it always struck me as funny that they cast a dancer to do voice work.
Well, hello there. My name's Special Delivery Kluger, SD for short. Oh, I've got lots of letters for Santa today.
Speaking of voice work, the one doing a ton of voice work in this movie was the voice of the Haunted Mansion's ghost host himself, Paul Frees. Paul plays Burgermeister Meisterburger and his assistant Grimly, so at several times he's doing scenes with himself. He also provided the noises for the penguin as well as other animals like the seal who inexplicably taught Santa how to laugh. He was also the voice of the Kringle brothers, the newsreel announcer at the beginning, yet in the credits he doesn't get his own credit. He has to share an and the talents of credit with 2 other voice actors. Justice for Paul Frees!
Herr Bürgermeister, look what was discovered on your front stoop.
What? What, Grinsley? The milk? The daily paper?
No, sir. A baby.
Oh, is that all? A baby?
But he definitely made an impression on Arthur Rankin Jr., the Rankin in Rankin Bass, who I heard telling this story several times.
We were in the control room waiting to record one morning, and Fred Astaire came in a little bit early with his agent, and his agent was Freddie Fields, a band leader in the great days of the big band, and retired. But his great act was he did champagne music, and he would take a brandy glass, and with a straw blow, and his orchestra would play to that. That was it. So Fred Astaire comes, and his agent stayed with him all the time. That was his only job, to stay with Fred Astaire. And they're sitting in the control room. We're chatting a little bit and chatting here and there. And Fred Astaire doesn't know what he's going to do. He doesn't understand why he's there and how he's going to perform. And I'm trying to explain all that to him. I had hired Paul Frees to work on a one-to-one basis with him, and Paul would help him. I knew that. So Paul Frees enters the control room, and I said, "Oh, good, you're here. This is Fred Astaire, Paul, and that's Freddie Fields." And Paul says, "Not the Freddie Fields," and walks right past us there. Strides right past him. You got to move his knee. Not the. And that was his humor. And then And he made Fred very comfortable, and they got along well, and Fred gave us a great performance.
But I haven't really even touched on the music of this special. Obviously, there's the title song that inspired this whole thing, but to stretch this out to an hour, they jam-packed this thing with original songs. None of the songs were written by the pair that wrote Santa Claus is Coming to Town. The songs were written by Mary Laws and Jules Bass. There's the first Toy Makers to the King that the Kringles sing when they are telling Chris about their heyday as toy makers. Then there's a reprise of it that the Burgermeister sings when he's banned all the toys. Then there's the song Chris sings when he's first passing out the toys to the kids called Be Prepared to Pay, aka If You Sit on My Lap Today, and frankly, the less said about that one, the better. The weirdest song Jessica sings before breaking Chris out of the dungeon. It's called My World is Beginning Today, and she sings it all alone in the town square as the background behind her turns into a trippy, psychedelic 2D animation fest.
All the little cares picked along the way suddenly have disappeared with yesterday.
In 1986, ABC cut this song out when they aired the special, and I can't say I disagree with that decision. Like, it's a perfectly fine song, but it is just a weird chunk of the movie. It's like in the first Superman movie, when Superman or Lois are flying and it all of a sudden turns into this weird spoken poetry thing, and then it just gets back to the movie. Like, this is all good, but what are we doing right now? But I would say the big song from this movie is Put One Foot in Front of the Other, the song Chris sings to Winter Warlock to convince him that he can be a better person if he wants to be.
Put one foot in front of the other, and soon you'll be walking across the floor. Put one foot in front of the other, and soon you'll be walking out the door.
I gotta be honest, this is the only song I'd heard of before watching this a few months ago. Yes, I must admit, I never watched this growing up, or if I did, I watched it so seldom that I had no memory of it. In fact, I bought this at a library that was doing a sale of their old inventory, thinking I didn't already own a copy of this special, only to bring it home and find out that in a collection I had of other Rankin Bass specials, I already had this special. So I definitely wasn't looking at this through nostalgia goggles like I do with a lot of the movies and specials I cover on the show. But I can say, even though a lot of the special is very silly to my modern eye, I definitely enjoyed it. And the kids did too when I showed it to them. And I gotta say, the idea of us trying to be better people every day by just putting one foot in front of the other and trying to do a little better each day to move forward and be a little more like Santa is just as relevant now as it was 55 years ago.
What would happen if we all tried to be like Santa and learned to give, as only he can give, of ourselves, our talents, our love, and our hearts? Maybe if we could all learn Santa's beautiful lesson, maybe there would finally be peace on earth and goodwill toward man.
So you better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming, Santa Claus is coming, Santa Claus is coming to town. Merry Christmas!
And that's our show. Thank you for being a part of our continuing 10th anniversary celebration. Don't forget to check out the links in the show notes to our video demonstration of Christmas ice cubes, and I do want to give another shout out to Ryan George. I think that this dude is super funny, and he's brought me and my family a lot of laughs. He has a few YouTube channels that I'll put links to in the show notes. Most famously, he does the Pitch Meeting series, which is what we paid homage to in our main segment today. Before I wrote this episode about Santa Claus is Coming to Town, I went back and listened to our old Rudolph episode, and I had done a similar bit with the two writers hashing out the details of the plot, and I thought it would be an amusing idea to map these characters over Ryan's Pitch Meeting template. I think it turned out pretty well, and I hope you agree. Okay, next month we'll be back with another Christmas favorite that's celebrating a big anniversary this year, and by big anniversary, I mean one that ends with a 0 or 5. But until then, you believers, keep laughing all the way.
And that was Christmas 1983.
Actually, Dad, it's 2025.
Oh.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Can't Wait for Christmas podcast. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, or wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, if you leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, aka iTunes, and email us about it at christmas@tancast.com, we'll send you a free Can't Wait for Christmas sticker. If you'd like to see the show notes or leave a comment on this or any other episodes, you can go to our official website, can'twaitforchristmaspod.com. While you're there, you'll find a link to our official Zazzle store, where you can grab customizable t-shirts, ornaments, stickers, and all sorts of other Christmas-themed items all year long. We'd love to connect with you on social media. On TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and Threads, we are Can't Wait for Christmas Pod. And on the app formerly known as Twitter, we are at Christmas Pod. We Wish You a Merry Christmas was performed by the United States Marine Corps Band, and this amazing version of Jingle Bells on the accordion was performed by the wonderful and talented Christian Nowicki. All other music and sounds used in this episode are the properties of their individual copyright holders, and they are used for purposes of commentary and review. No infringement is intended. Okay, boys, did I forget anything?
God bless us, everyone.
Merry Christmas!
Because in the show I'm talking about, I'm like, so school's back in session, and you both just go, boo! Or, everybody, the boys are back in school. It's something like that, is what I say. Alright, so you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Boo!
Oh,
One more time. 3, 2, 1.
Boo!
Okay, that was a little too fast. Just like, boo! Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Boo!
Perfect. Again. 3, 2, 1.
He did. What's that for?
I say, I'll leave it up to you to wonder if I learned that lesson the hard way. And you both go, he did. Alright, thanks guys.
Can I do the
That
thing
was
now?
it?
I want to hear what it sounds like.
Those two things. And ASMR.
It's a takedown, I'ma take you out. You break down like what? It's a takedown, I'ma take you out. And it ain't gonna stop.
Oh, we ruined the microphone. It's broken now. Get it? Because of the song?
That song's a hit, my man.
Looking like a Taco Bell bathroom, flush it down the toilet, skibbity dot dot dot, like a hole in your brain. Hope you never so bad to take.
Control delete.
That's not how it works, Chuckles. And also, we're going to spend the... And also, we're going to spend... Also, we're going to spending... That's why you got to write all the words down that you're thinking of. As a random example, the British quiz show... As a random example, the British quiz show... The British quiz show. That my lips don't like. They don't like putting that together. As a random example, the British quiz show... Nope, see? I told you I didn't like it. As a random example, the British quiz show... Why is that so hard? British quiz show. So imagine my surprise that I learned that Randy Bachman, the former lead Cena... It's John Cena! Da, 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 da. It has a lot of similarities to the Soul Asylum song. 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 All right, that isn't hard as I thought it was, but it was hard that first go round. You'll see them when they're bad or good, so they should be good for goodness song. Oh my gosh! But he definitely made an impression on... Oh, hang on. My wife is calling, so I will pause this recording and talk to my wife. So my wife is out of the house training for a triathlon, and I'm in here recording. So my son texted my wife to ask permission to do something rather than interrupt me recording this show. So then my wife called me so that I could tell him, A, don't bother your mom when she's not here. You could just ask me. And yes, go ahead and do the thing you were going to do.